Good morning. Welcome everyone worshiping with us this morning, especially those that are visiting with us. Ask that you please take the cards in the pew rack that have the red on them, and if you would give us your contact information, especially visitors, we would love to know how to be in touch with you. This is a special service today. We have a real treat with some special readers a little later as we celebrate the life and the work and the ongoing legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So our service is in a little bit different order today so that this will work out nicely for you to especially enjoy this part of the service. If you had difficulty parking this morning, and we may have some coming in later that are having difficulty parking, we will be working on that. Now, I know there's some issues because of the car show, but there may be some other issues that we have to work on about parking. We will be working on that if you've had issues. We do have several prayer requests. Sharon Myers continues at Oakwood Hospital. She says hi to everyone. She is feeling well but recovering from a procedure, and she hopes to return home sometime later this week. Also, prayers for all of our shut-ins and those who are ill and others who want to be with us this day but for some reason are unable to be, and of course all those that are listed as prayer requests in our bulletin. Also, prayers for Lucille Strotter and those who have loved her. Her passing was just before Thanksgiving, and we did have a memorial service, but this morning, this service of worship to God is dedicated to Lucille, who did march with Martin Luther King Jr., and we had a true warrior and fighter for freedom in our midst. And so this service is dedicated to her on this Martin Luther King Sunday because one of our own had such a connection, strong connection, important connection to Dr. King. So let's take a moment of silent prayers to remember those who cannot be with us this morning, to remember Cheryl, to remember Lucille and others that we perhaps have not put in the bulletin that you know of. Let us pray. Oh God, hear our prayers. There are some email issues continuing at Fort Street. So many of you, there were many people here on Wednesday evening, and I told you to immediately change my email address to something different. Do not do that. That changed at 10 o'clock that night, so continue using rev.mook@fortstreet.org, just the way it's always been. I believe that would be true for all of the staff. So some of you were told to change the email addresses for some of the staff. Do not change those. I don't think they're going to change at all, but we'll keep you posted. Also know, if you've been emailing me, only when I'm in the office right now am I able to receive your email and answer your email. I think. It keeps changing, so I'm not exactly sure. But I don't think if I'm not immediately in the office, I'm able to get your email or respond to your email. Although I think eventually I'm getting them all, although I can't be sure. So just be aware of that. Also, if you would turn to page 7 of your bulletin, again, reminding you that there is a meeting of the congregation called meeting next Sunday, the 26th of January, for two purposes. One is to elect a member to fill a vacancy on the session for the class of 2015. The other is to engage in a visioning conference which will be facilitated by the Reverend Dr. Dave Levick in order to provide members and friends of Fort Street and opportunities to suggest future directions and priorities for the church and the leadership. I think this could be an exciting and good day at Fort Street. So how that will work is we will finish our worship service and we will call a congregational meeting here in the sanctuary. And we will have our election here in the sanctuary, and then we will recess, not adjourn, but we will recess to the Great Hall where there will be a lunch provided for everyone who stays. This is for members. The voting, of course, is only for members, but the visioning is for members, friends, staff, others that are involved at Fort Street to participate in that. A meal will be provided. There is no cost for the meal. And then following that, Reverend Levick will be here, and we will have an opportunity. He will lead us through a process. Everyone will have an opportunity to express your thoughts for the future direction and vision of Fort Street. The more people we have here, the better the results will be, the better input we will have. So I encourage you not only to attend, but also to call others. I know some calls are happening, but call your friends, call people you haven't seen, remind those you do see. Let's try to get everyone out next Sunday for this event. And also we get to have a fellowship around the table of meals, so please try to be here for that event. Now as we get ready for our introit, please prepare your hearts to enter into worship of our God.